Hello my friends and welcome to my video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nastaran. Ever since I started my journey of buying a house in Hawaii, I wished to see how other people did it. What struggles did they go through? And unfortunately, I didn't see too many of these videos on YouTube. That gave birth to the idea of one day when I have finally purchased my house in Hawaii, I will share my story with everyone. And here is my story. This is a two-part video, and there will be videos of before and after we renovated the house. So I hope you enjoy. Well, hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to tell you my story of how I ended up moving to Hawaii. And also in the same video, if you like, I'm going to give you a tour of my house and the backyard and, maybe a little bit of the neighborhood if you like. So hang in there. I'm hoping you would like this video. My name is Nastaran. I made this video to share with you guys my story about how I moved to Hawaii. I think everybody has a story about how they moved to Hawaii, what made them all of a sudden, want to move to Hawaii of all places in the world. I want to give you a little bit of background. I moved to Hawaii February of 2023. And so it's been a few months that I've been here. And I thought I'm going to tell you guys my story of how that happened. Just as a general description of myself, I'm 61 years old. I've been a nurse most of my life. I have 3 grown children and I'm married. In 2014, my husband was employed by Hawaiian Airlines and he worked in San Diego. However, they closed that office that they had in San Diego. Therefore, he was given a choice to either go to Atlanta or go to Honolulu, Hawaii, or just not work for them anymore. But he was already invested 7 years in that company, and if you had worked 10 years for the company, you would get free flights. So of course I wanted to have free flights. So we decided to sell everything and go to Hawaii and live there. So we lived in Kaneohe for 3 years, from 2014 to 2017, before moving back to San Diego. He retired from Hawaiian Airlines and we moved back. They say, or I say, you can get a girl out of Hawaii, but you can't get Hawaii out of the girl. Ever since then, I've been trying to crawl my way back to Hawaii. I made this connection with Hawaii that was just so incredible. I yearned for it. I ached for it. I felt like Hawaii was calling out to me. This is not something poetic, I'm just saying. It truly felt like that. I needed Hawaii. Some people just want to go to Hawaii to spend some time, but I just needed more than that. I started visiting and I was thinking, what if we have a little place in Hawaii where I can travel back and forth, and that would really solve my problem. I would be able to go. We have free flights, why not? I realized that the prices of real estate in Oahu had skyrocketed. It was just way too much. So that was like, cross that out of the equation. That wasn't possible. Same thing with Maly and Kauai. Well, that left Big Island as a possibility. I didn't know much about Big Island. I had traveled here maybe one time. We stayed about 2 days and that was it. So I truly did not have any idea what Big Island was like. Am I even going to like it? Am I going to have that bond with it again? So there was only one way to find out. And that was for me to come here as many times as possible until I get that answer to the question whether I have the same relationship with Big Island as I did with Oahu. So using our free flights, I came here as often as possible. I stayed in Kona a few times, and I really loved it. I had this Airbnb that I really connected with, and I wished that I could, live in a place just like it. I realized that the prices of property in Kona was almost as high as Oahu was, so I guess that wasn't going to work. I started exploring the east side of the island. But where? Where am I going to stay? I looked at Hilo, but for some reason I just didn't I liked it, but not as a place I wanted to live. So I was really not sure where to go. I didn't know any neighborhood. I didn't know any people there. So what I did, I joined a lot of Facebook pages about Big Island, whether it was traveling to it, moving to it, and watching as many videos as possible just to educate myself about what are some of the neighborhoods in there, what is life like, asked a lot of questions in the groups. So I could really understand Big Island. As a part of my discovery, every time I stayed east side of the island, I would go to an Airbnb and then spend my whole time not sightseeing or touristy kind of things, but exploring that neighborhood. I would walk around it, I would talk to people, look at the neighbors, ask a lot of questions and see what's near. How do I feel about this place? Imagining myself if I lived here, what would it be like? And so I did that in many, many, many different areas. I stayed in Hawaiian Paradise Park. I also stayed in Hawaiian beaches. I never stayed in Hawaiian shores, but I drove back and forth looking at different streets. At that time, I did not even know what Hawaiian shores was. I thought it was all Hawaiian beaches. I also stayed in Kalapana, in Seaview, and in Kahena Beach. I really did like that area too, but I just didn't find a house that really suited me. After checking all this, I realized that what I am so attracted to and love so much is the Hawaiian Shores area. Proximity to the beach is so close. The look of the houses were different. The feel of the neighborhood was different. There was just something about it I really, really liked. So I kind of zoned into that area. Every night when my husband would go to sleep, I usually can't sleep at the same time. It takes me a little bit to fall asleep, so I would get on my iPad and look at Redfin or what's new on the market. And every house that we could see was more as far as, the price than what we could afford, because we were planning on still keeping our house in San Diego, but having a little place in Hawaii. So it wasn't like my budget was endless. I didn't care if the house needed work. I didn't care how big of a yard it had. It just had to be a place where I could put my head down and then enjoy Hawaii. One night, I opened up the Redfin app, and there it was. There was a house finally in our price range. Not too far from that area. I believe it was the M section. I found this house for $125,000, and I thought, what? No way. I mean, a house in Hawaii for $125,000. So there is a catch. Why all the other houses for $500,000 or more, and this one is $125,000? Because on the pictures it didn't look so bad. So we found out that it was an estate type thing where they were trying to sell it, but the occupant of the house didn't want to leave. So that was the catch. We had to get him out. And I heard the police is not very cooperative when it comes to that. If somebody is living in a house and they don't want to leave, it's not that easy to get them out. We went and looked at the house. The house was very old. If the occupant was not the issue, I looked around, and right in front of our house there was a property with 9 pit bulls. Very angry looking, and it scared me half to death. And then as the other neighbors would walk by, they kind of give you dirty looks. Overall, I just didn't like that house at all. So we passed. Then there comes another, I want to say 6 months or so, looking, I saw this other listing. This house was in the high 200s, and from the picture it looked good, and I thought, okay, great. It's probably one of those things again. So my husband said, fly over there and form an opinion for yourself. I did, and I really wanted to get here before it was dark, but that's not how it happened. My flight was delayed, and I got here when it was dark. I looked at inside of the house. It wasn't like, no, it wasn't like that. It was like, It needed a lot of cosmetic work. Nothing structurally was wrong with it. So, I don't know. I just didn't love it. As simply as that. I just didn't love it. That night I told my agent and my husband that, no, I don't want it. My husband was like, but you haven't even seen it during the day. What if you go and you like it? Go tomorrow. Go the next day. Take a look at it again. As much as I didn't want to do it, I said, okay. I went back the next morning. It was a little different. I didn't go inside, but I just sat in my car in front of this house, and I kept staring at it. And something about it really gave me a good fuzzy feeling. So I got out and I started walking around the house, in the back, and I could hear all the birds and all the roosters and a couple of pigs, walking around, and I liked it. So I decided, okay, let me look around the neighborhood and see, like that, house with the 9 dogs. Is there anything like that in this neighborhood? But no, everything was quiet. There was no dogs I could hear. They kept their houses in pretty good shape. It just had a good feeling. I walked to the end of our street and I could see the ocean. It was 4 blocks away from the ocean. Could it be possible? I mean, really? How is that possible? So anyways, I walked to the beach and I came back and I decided, I'm gonna go for it. So after talking to my husband, we put an offer on the house and we got it. It was a long process. I had several panicky moments. What the heck am I doing? I mean, here we have 2 mortgages. Is that something that's gonna haunt me? Or is that something that's gonna benefit us in the long run and give me what I need, which is spending time in Hawaii? I wanted to say, no, let's get out of escrow. Believe me, several times. My husband had to walk me down from the ledge a few times. I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that, because otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here in this house. That meant after we closed, which was February 28th, we had to get to work. My husband doesn't have a whole lot of time off. He works full time. So we came here and we had to fix it up a little bit. One thing I forgot to say, going back to when we were trying to get our loan, it was a strange situation because they were asking for a few things to be fixed before we close escrow, and they were safety issues. Both sides of the house have stairways going up to the front door, and both of them were rotted. They wanted that to be redone, and a few other things. We didn't have a water heater, which sounded so weird. How do you not have a water heater? And a few holes in the walls. It was in rough shape. The owner of the house at that time, he said, no, the house is as is. So that meant that if we wanted the house, we had to do it. lovely. This is part of the rotted wood we're trying to fix. It will look a lot better later. Look at this lovely screen door. Alright, let me close this door. This is what the living right after we come in looks like. I love this view. So peaceful and beautiful. Every single window needs to be replaced. It's badly decomposed. Alright, and here is our kitchen. Very nicely rusted refrigerator. Gorgeous oven. Oh yeah. And the state of the art microwave with no handle. At least I can laugh about it, huh? My husband working on the railing. Oh, and this door. Oh God. We just changed this. That was historical too. Bedroom number 1, a guest bedroom. It's not a bad size. It really isn't. Again, both of these windows need replacing. Good size closet. Of course, this needs to go bye-bye. Yeah. And this is the other window. This is what our backyard looks like from up here. I love all the bird noises. It's just so wonderful. Let's go to the master bedroom. And this is a pretty nice size as well. This one is missing a complete side of the window. Yeah, all windows gotta go. Bye-bye. So in the master, hello. In the master bathroom, these are all staging as well. It's just old. Some paint is going to really make a difference here. The other full bathroom is here. Thank you for watching up to this point. I really appreciate it. The next one is coming up with the tour of the house and a lot more. So don't go too far. If it doesn't show up in your feed automatically, remember that I have put a link in the description if you can't find it. And you will be watching the second episode of this moving to Hawaii thing. So thank you again and see you later.